No longer news that the Nigerian fashion industry is on the path of greatness. So on the show today, we speak to one person, one of those who are key players in the industry, and that is Ohimai Atafo, popularly known as Mai Atafo. And he tells us all we need to know. Check it out.
Ohimai Atafo needs no introduction in Nigeria's growing fashion industry, standing tall and firm with his bespoke designs, which has caught the attention of the fashion industry in Nigeria and beyond. His bespoke suits and bridal line sets him apart from the rest. But before following his passion in the creative industry in 2010, Mai Atafo Inspired, as he is popularly called, had a stint in the corporate world. The information system and technology graduate from the City University in the UK worked in various companies as marketing and brand manager before resigning, and then began his journey into the world of fashion. Metrofile got up close and personal, and he told us how it all started.
My journey into making clothes came out of the pure love for clothes and nothing else. I love, from a young age, I always loved clothes. I love wearing clothes. I love being seen in very lovely clothes. So, it's always something that I tried to figure out how it was made. And I just took the plunge. It wasn't like I didn't have any formal training or anything. I was just driven by the love and the passion for making clothes.
Well, at first, did it look like a terrible thing, leaving all your experience in the United Kingdom, leaving the corporate sector, and the experience in branding and marketing for fashion in Nigeria?
Yes, it was a risk, and everything in life is a risk. And you will never know how much a risk it is until you take it. And sometimes when you don't even take things, that's a risk too.
Yes.
Staying where you are is also a risk. So yes, it was a risk, and I didn't even know what I was going into. I just went in for the love of what I had. If I knew then what I know now, I'll do a lot of things differently.
In 2011, through his parents' brand Mai Atafo Inspired, he launched a wedding line called Weddings by Mai with gorgeous-looking wedding gowns. But does he decide the outfit for every bride?
It's a collaborative effort between myself and the bride, because, as I say, fashion is very subjective. Not everybody can love a particular kind of fashion. And for wedding dresses, women grow up with the dream of how they want their wedding to be and how they want to look on that day. So what you're a facilitator to actually enable them achieve that dream. And that's my role. So I don't impose anything on brides. I discuss with them, have a long consultation, no matter how long it is, before we land on exactly what the bride wants. And I make sure it is practical enough and it looks very presentable before I sign off on it and we are happy.
Meeting a bride's expectation, he says, remains top priority. But in a scenario where a bride becomes a bit difficult, how does he handle it?
It's very funny, but what I try to do, I try to imagine I was that boyfriend. And if you're a boyfriend or a stubborn girlfriend, it means that it's either you're going to be hard-headed or you're going to be submissive. So I end up being the submissive boyfriend. So I kind of I romance them through the process and try to make them feel very comfortable, so that way we can land on something. Sometimes we've had to say goodbye, to one or two people that we couldn't, get, a middle ground. But I think at the end of the day, it helps you to own the process as well as them, because at the end, when the bride comes out, it is your dress as much as it's her dress.
Now, considering the craze for foreign labels and imported designs, do you think that homemade fashion lines are very profitable and encouraging to practitioners? Now, a typical Nigerian would go to take an already made suit or a jacket.
I think when it comes to suits and stuff, people still want to get international stuff, one. But I think that at the end of the day, when you're offering a bespoke tailored suit, which is a totally different ball game, which is actually made to your specification and for you, then the competition is still there, but not as intense anymore, because now it's their wedding day. They don't want to make sure they look absolutely stunning, and they don't want to wear the same thing that they saw in the shops anywhere else in the world. So they want to wear something that's actually true to them. Some people get it overseas off the rack. Some people still want to go and get it tailored for them. So I think that a lot of people are still very interested in making things with local designers like us. But I think it's not because they want to make things with local designers, because they want to just make amazing stuff to wear. So it's not about being local or being international. It's the fact that you can actually give them what they want at the point in time.
Nonetheless, Ohimai Atafo believes the industry is growing and great things are happening.
I always found that the fashion industry being clustered with entertainment, because I think they're two different things. I think the fashion industry is not entertainment. I think the fashion industry is actually proper business and business. And but the growth that I have experienced in the last few years has been very, very drastic. I think that in terms of designing, the aspect of actually designing and sketching your ideas, I think Nigerian designers are literally almost as good as anyone, if not the best in the world. But I think the gap we have is bringing those things to life in terms of having factories or tailors that can produce those garments to the standards that we want.
Some say style is anything trending at the moment. What would you say to a customer who wants to wear something out of his or her league?
It depends on who defines the league of the customer in the first place. So, I mean, I'm wearing a suit and tie today. Nothing stops me from wearing a pair of, cropped jeans and t-shirts tomorrow. So, and that could look like it's not my league, So, it depends on the person.
For someone who is not doing badly in the fashion industry, here are some tips for new and emerging designers.
I think they should look at it as more of a business than fashion designing. The actual art of designing or creating a piece, it's the smallest part of it. And by the day, it's now becoming even the least important part. The part whereby you have to bring that product out to the standard you want it to be, market it to the potential customers, make them at the right price, make them engage with your product, how they see it, how they perceive it, how they engage with it, is now becoming to be the biggest part. Because if you're a good designer and no one sees your stuff, then you're not a good designer. So, and that's the way they have to look at it. So it is a business. It's not just something that you think that I think I can do. I love to sketch. I want to be a designer. I mean, not everyone that loves to cook has a restaurant. Okay. So I think you should look at it more like a business.
You've won several awards, done so many runways. What's the ultimate thing for Ohimai Atafo?
The ultimate thing is yet to come. I think I haven't felt that thing yet. And when I do, I'll know, but I haven't yet.
And how competitive is the fashion industry?
It is very competitive. At the end of the day, it's humongous, because there's a whole clientele base of Nigerians waiting for us to be able to do affordable clothes for everyday wearing, and we can't even do that because the cost of production is still too high. So I think that in terms of competition, yes, there's some competition, but I think that the bigger pie is out there that is untouched by any of us, because we are not increasing efficiency and effectiveness on top of our design. So we make these amazing designs, but how do you drive the cost that the suit is not 300,000 naira but 30,000 naira?
Now, I asked the last question I asked. I love to sketch, I love to draw. Does that tell me something that I might become a designer someday?
It probably doesn't tell you become a designer someday. It probably tells you that you have something in it.
All right.
And for you to become a fashion designer, you have to actually develop it and enhance it to the point whereby you can become a fashion designer. Yeah. So I think God has blessed everybody with gifts. Maybe it's a gift that you're not trying to explore and exploit your gift to the highest level. Right. You may never know.
Born in Ile-Ife, Osun State, Ohimai Atafo hopes to continue to contribute his own quota to the growth of the fashion industry and at the same time pave way for young and emerging designers in Nigeria.
Ohimai Atafo right there. We appreciate local production.
yeah,
Nigerians are very creative.
Yeah, the fact that, you know, somebody is doing something that a lot of us will want to go out there to buy, but there's somebody doing it here. So good job, good job.
Yes. On that note, we wrap it up on the show today. Thank you
right.
so much. It's been so much fun on the show. I
really
hope you did have fun. But you can continue the fun. Remember, you can do that online. Visit our website, channelstv.com. You can view as many editions of Metrofile as you want. Remember to follow us on Twitter also. Those handles are right on your screen. I'm Anne Nwawadu.
And I'm Ogichukwu. Do have yourself a wonderful Easter celebration.